Your Excellency, it's good to be with you here today, the Governor of Cross River State.
Thank you.
You look good. You look nice. You look well.
Thank you very much.
And those
You too.
compliments are for my governor. Now, there are conversations that we must have. It's been 3 years and a couple of weeks after the 3 years anniversary. And I was very elated, when there were conversations in the hall, presentations, there were some sectors that caught my interest. But before we settle in for the nitty gritty, there's a pending question. Cross River State, we are not participants or partakers of the 13% derivation in terms of funding. So what we have is that our resources may not be as much. That is why I'm asking this question. You have projects of past administration. Let me start from the closest, your predecessor. We had the Kalachika, the garment factory, we had the toothpick in Ikuri, Kala Farm, garment factory, the Obudu, the cargo airports, and of course they're quite a plethora of projects which were executed with state funds. But execution is one thing, having legacy projects is one thing, but the functionality as to how it impacts on the people, impacts on the economy, the sense of it all. Now that government is done and you are the governor, it's 3 years past. Usually every administration with their pseudonym or their slogan and, legacy projects, cutting of ribbons. Now, you've come, Your Excellency. I know you have areas of concern, but I am interested in knowing as to the degree that you will intervene in the projects that have Cross River State funding tied down because we've not made sense of it. Continuum. Government is a continuum. That's the simple crux of the matter. What are you doing in this regard? Maybe out of modesty, we don't know as much, but it is important that the people know that is something going on in this direction. Would we ever make sense of these things, Your Excellency?
Yes, thank you very much, Donna Mary, for this question. Like you have said, I think 3 years has come and gone just like that.
Yeah.
I believe that the days are running very quick now. When we came into government, actually, we came with certain thematic areas which we wanted to go by. Some of them would have particularly carry what I would call legacy projects and so on and so forth. But those things are really dreams when you're outside. When you come in and face the stark reality, you don't know that it's a bit different. When we came into government, I discovered that when I look at the plethora of uncompleted projects and some of the things that needed just some support to make sure they come alive, and then I look at the quantum of public funds that has been invested in all the things, we had to change because it became clear that for Cross Riverians to actually enjoy and get benefit for the public funds probably over the years, that there's need to get those projects alive. There come a time which governance transcends routine administration or direction and actually enters into the what I would call the realm of historical significance. It became very clear that if we abandon these projects, we're going to have just carcasses all the place. And we immediately started because our government is the people's government and restoration was at the center of our focus.
Yes, sir.
First of all, to bring our government to peace, we need to restore all public buildings to get the aesthetics and the needed environment for proper governance to function. And after doing that, we look at all those projects which I've mentioned. We went into them one after the other. Let me start. The Obudu Cargo Airport, we've gone quite far. I believe that probably before the end of this year, we should be able to land in that airport. We are putting proper investments there. Kali Farm, we are just waiting for commissioning. The garment factory you've mentioned, I don't know whether you've been there recently. It's not my garment factory.
No, I haven't been there recently.
Oh yes, we've turned it to something as in fact, if you go there, you wonder where you are because it's a completely different scenery. It's also waiting for commissioning.
Okay, so what's going to be the functionality? Is it still a garment factory, still producing clothing and textiles?
No, we've discovered that if you want to look at the economy of scale, because actually it was clear that it wasn't really adding much both in terms of GDP or in terms of employment, in terms of things that were needed. We've changed it. It's actually what I would call the first mosquito producing factory in the whole of Africa. As a matter of fact, we have a contract of over about $80 million already on the facility. And it's the first of its kind.
Mosquito producing factory.
Yes.
No, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. No, please, anytime you reach there, go there.
Okay.
It's a completely different environment. We've also injected Cali Farm, like I say, is waiting for commissioning. The Kalachika, we discovered that we had to do a certain restructuring so that it would be able to match actually the value chain which we're doing, because the production initially was at about 25,000 and the capacity was at that. It's difficult to get that. We have to start from somewhere to get to somewhere. So we had to restructure the machine because we needed capital and other things to make sure that it gets working. That also now is ready and is waiting for commissioning. Other ones which like the rice, the Goja rice mill, which we had some technical issues, and then the concession issues, which we and the concessionaires are still discussing to see how to actually strike a balance so that we can get that particular plant to full capacity. And then other ones which you've mentioned have very serious technical issues, and vandalization too, which we are trying to see how to calibrate and get them up and coming. But we've done a lot in terms of just that, not just what the former administration led, but from inception of democracy up to date, and even ones that predates this particular term of democracy. We've touched all of it. Like when we came in, Krell, the rubber estate was almost gone completely. We had to enter there and look at it. Today, if you go to Krell, it's a different environment. It's a different facility entirely. There were over 600 people employed in that place. Before then, it was just 3. Today, there are well over 600 employed because we've added some investments and there's a total rejuvenation of the place. We had to take it from the former concessionaires who had asset stripped the facility and it was totally down. But today we've revitalized it. It is working and ongoing. And some other farms like that, like the Sadop and all the other rest we've started completely new management, new arrangements and everything. All of them are ongoing and they've employed quite a lot if you go. And our policy in terms of agri, particularly the farm settlements, has been to bring the local content to actually participate heavily and be part stakeholders in whatever we do. So beyond that, we've set up quite a lot of farms that were established by Opara in those days. Yeah, we've actually rejuvenated all of them. And then the other facilities that were almost, we lost Tinapa completely. And Cross River investment in Tinapa is quite huge. Over $400 million in Tinapa and Ubuntu, the other facilities that we have there. So it became clear, if we abandon this is gone forever. And the buildings cannot just continue to lie there as carcass. We decided to go into negotiation, though very tedious and tough. But we were able to get Tinapa back. And I believe that before the end of this year, you'll see a completely different Tinapa. Because we do have a proper database in one of the emporiums that is ongoing. We are working on the plants, generating plants which Cross River State has reached there is going to come alive because we have to take gas somewhere to bring it there. We'll be waiting for commissioning very, very soon. And we have an anchor tenant who is coming to Tinapa, and Tinapa is going to be alive again. We're going to build, there's a jetty that's going to be built there to make sure that the local populace are encouraged to also do whatever kind of business they're doing. So we've had a touch. We had to abandon or jettison the idea of legacy project for now because there's huge need for whatever resources we have. And you know that if you watch the publication all the time, At the end of every publication, we are second on the last. Our resources were taken away, and most of the investments that were done were contracted on the level of those revenue streams that were about to come. Those revenue streams did not come again. So this kind of made the economy so lopsided that some of those projects could not really move ahead at the pace that they were supposed to be. But we've taken the challenge and say, look, for legacy projects, maybe second term we can look at it, because that would be a proper luxury. For now, we have to conclude everything that is on ground to give value to cross-invariance and the people. And to some extent, we've gone quite far. We've done quite well in that area. There were secretariats that were built just halfway and only the blocks were there today, like the Local Government Service Commission and the rest. If you go, they're all modern, contemporary buildings that we've moved all these government offices and so on into them. And we're doing even more to make sure that all government functionaries, the civil servants, are actually where they are supposed to be, so that there can be that job satisfaction and there can be some containment in terms of at least rekindling their morale and everything to produce more, to give more to the states.
Fantastic. While we were speaking, one thing that caught my attention is agriculture. You know that we are naturally endowed when it comes to, we are an agrarian people, but you see a lot of countries of the world have their GDP, their economies anchored on agriculture. So we have the natural blessing to become really an agrarian economy. Like recently, the commissioner of agriculture posted something which caught my attention, that the local government chairman should take advantage of Arabica and Robusta coffee, that Cross River State can do well in coffee production, which I have ascertained. And of course, you see countries like Brazil, this is what Brazil is known for, coffee. So if we can in Cross River State, but then again,